That phone call with your son.
Correct.
You were using language, and over 6 times during that call, you used the N-word.
Yes, sir.
Why were you using that word so freely?
Well, I thought I had a pass in the black tribe to use it, kind of like Eminem.
Who gave you the pass? Your
Bro, they didn't choose this interviewer by accident, by the way.
Yeah, there's no way. Of course they did. And I love though, like, I can't be racist. I'm 33.5% Apache. I love it.
That's just funny
as
as
if
fuck.
It's like a pill you could take. It's like an anti-racist pill.
See these feathers?
The feather. He has had the feathers in his hair for like forever. Oh my god.
He thinks it's like a dream catcher, but for racism.
Oh my god, I never covered his recent interview. Oh my god. Oh, please, let me see if I find it. Daughter.
We're going, this is the extended cut, the version of the podcast.
So
now.
this is an exclusive interview the Dog the Bounty Hunter had. So he has been recorded saying the N-word before. And he got in a lot of trouble for it because he said on a phone call with one of his like family members or something, and they released it because they're like, this guy's a racist. And now his daughter's coming out saying, yeah, he's a racist, he hates Black Lives Matter, and he had an interview because of it. And it was also alleging that he cheated on his wife while she was terminally sick. But his
well, I mean, you know,
the thing is, this is the funniest interview in the history of the world. So I'm gonna play this. I never covered this on stream. I forgot to. So thank God I remembered this now because I wanted to cover this on stream, and I'm happy I can share this moment with human beings. Okay, so let's do it. Watch this.
Why didn't you invite her to the wedding?
As hard as it is. And
Okay, yeah. So her daughter was not invited to the wedding because of like she accused her of being racist and cheated on his like ex-wife.
Why didn't you invite her to the wedding?
As hard as it is and as heartbreaking as it is, we had to make a decision that was very difficult for us. We've been through hell, him and I, in the past 3 years.
I love you.
I love you too. And I am not gonna allow our day to be ruined by this nonsense.
The accusations are serious and scathing. Dog's daughter claiming he is racist, homophobic, and was unfaithful to her late mother, Beth, who died just over 2 years ago.
Did you cheat on Beth?
No.
Never.
Never.
She says he began to have an affair with a friend of my mom's while she was in the hospital.
Beth was in the hospital 3 times. I was there every single second with her. I went home the night before she passed away with her mother and her sisters because they said she won't pass away, dog, with you standing here. So I left. 3 hours later, she passed away. So when did I have time? I'm a good man. I would have never done that.
22-year-old Bonnie also claims she was not invited to her dad's wedding because she supports the Black Lives Matter movement.
Do you support that organization?
Yes, I do. I have never been a racist. I'm 33.5% Apache. But because of over 15 years ago, I have an Achilles heel because I used the wrong word.
Well, let me ask you about that. That moment 15 years ago.
Yes, sir.
That phone call with your son.
Bro, they didn't choose this interviewer by accident, by the way.
Yeah, there's no way. Of course they did. And I love though, like, I can't be racist. I'm 33.5% Apache. I love it.
That's just funny as
if
fuck.
It's like a pill you could take. It's like an anti-racist pill.
See these feathers?
The feather. He has had the feathers in his hair for like forever. Oh my god.
He thinks it's like a dream catcher, but for racism.
Because I used the wrong word.
Well, let me ask you about that. That moment 15 years ago.
Yes, sir.
That phone call with your son.
Correct.
You were using language, and over 6 times.
It's crazy how both of his daughter and his son both think he's racist, and is also not racist. That's crazy.
That phone call with your son.
Correct.
You were using language, and over 6 times during that call, you used the N-word.
Yes, sir.
Why were you using that word so freely?
Well, I thought I had a pass in the black tribe to use it, kind of like Eminem.
Who gave you the pass?
I thought I had a pass in the black tribe. He doesn't call them black people, in the black tribe.
Oh my
That's what
god,
gets me.
dude.
The black tribe, and he got a pass. He got an N-word. He got an official, signed and sealed N-word pass from the I guess the representatives of the black tribe.
They did a rain dance and everything.
They did. They took one of his feathers and put them in their hair, and they made it official. They made it official.
I thought I had Had a pass in the black tribe to use it, kind of like Eminem.
Kind of
Who
like
gave you the
Eminem.
pass?
The brothers.
Who were the
Does
brothers?
Eminem even?
my God.
Yeah, one sec. Does Eminem even say the N word? I don't think he does.
He explicitly does not. Like, I guess as far as I'm aware, I've heard this on A4 Andre's stream, and he's, you know, like a hip hop aficionado. I want to say that I've heard A4 Andre say that, like, some rappers have, like, explicitly given Eminem the pass, and he refuses to say it, and that's, like, you know what I mean? That's supposed to be a credit to,
Maybe
like,
he's-
I know.
maybe he's keeping
Eminem
it-
doesn't say it.
Maybe he's keeping the pass for his final album before he retires.
Yeah, he's storing up
Up
his power.
sales.
He's charging up like a what was
He's
it?
letting it build
Spirit ball.
equity.
He's charging up
Like
a
a
spirit
boost.
ball with the
Like a
N word.
boost.
Yeah. Spirit ball N word. Yeah.
You using that word so freely?
Well, I thought I had a pass in the black tribe to use it, kind of like Eminem.
Who gave you the pass?
The brothers.
Who were the brothers?
I had just, you know, gotten out of prison in 1979 after spending time in 18 months in Texas, and it was probably 3/4 from the black tribe. So that was a word that we used back and forth as maybe a compliment. My pass expired.
A compliment. Wait,
My
okay.
pass expired, dude. He didn't renew.
He didn't. The thing
Forget
is,
the mail in.
so he
Yo,
didn't.
I have my driver's
the
license.
DMV.
It's actually the worst thing ever.
He didn't pass. He didn't pay his dues. But the thing that gets me about this is wait. Let me hear it one more time. I forgot what I was gonna say.
So that was a word that we used.
Well, he said he called it a compliment. So I'm thinking, like, how do you use the word as a compliment, right? Like, I understand that people use the word as a compliment. Oh, you're looking very N-word today. Like, how do you use it as a compliment? How is that even how?
Listen, I
Like,
have to be honest.
wait. That means there's a world where he says, I would have called that black person the N-word, but I don't like him enough. If it's a compliment.
I mean,
I don't really
listen,
feel that strongly about him to say those kind of nice words.
the guy's a relic of a bygone era. Like, clearly he's undergone some socialization that the rest of us really can't understand or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but you know,
What, please,
Yeah.
was there any bygone era where the N-word was a compliment?
I don't
Yeah,
know
the
how the fuck
1700s.
things.
And
Yeah, I don't know how
the
the fuck-
black tribe, was there a bygone era where we called them the black tribe?
Who maybe the fucking black people that he was in prison with called themselves the black tribe. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, he's doing this shit so unabashedly. He's so fucking
like he's
almost
behind
proud
closed
of delivering
doors.
this. Yeah, it doesn't look like this is not a good excuse. Like, this is not a plausible, you know what I mean, story that any reasonable person would expect would, like, fly over. But he's delivering it, like, really confidently. I don't know. I'm not ready to, like, I don't even think the guy is malicious. I just think he's just out of touch, and he's had, like, a weird life, and he's fucking old. And racism was much more,
I don't know.
commonplace.
Have you heard the call with his son?
I think I did a long time ago, and he's, like, explaining his usage or something like that. I don't know. And listen, the guy's probably racist, and he's probably, like, a homophobe because he grew up in an era where that shit was, like, commonplace or whatever. And I appreciate the interviewer's tact where he's like
the thing is,
trying to, what's up?
the thing for me is like, if you're just some like old 90-year-old man in your apartment, and you're like, right? That's one thing.
Mhm.
But he was actively during this trying to get another TV show, and they signed a deal to get him another TV. He was gonna have another season of Dog the gonna harass random people bounty hunter, right?
Sure, but I don't think it's ever too late, and I don't think it's ever too late for somebody to set him straight, which is like what I hope happens from this interview. Like, dude, no, this was never okay. I don't know what the hell happened to you in prison, but this was never okay. You know, like,
wait, that's what the interview is about to do, and it's very interesting
Right.
interaction. But and I agree with that. I'm like, this is a good interview. I just find his logic very funny. Compliment black tribe. The brothers gave me the pass, and I guess it expired.
he's
right.
definitely out of touch.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
The thing.
I like how
wait.
Supreme. I like how you're acting like the people can change and shit when we just had Governor Cuomo have to fucking retire, and he's like been told not to.
Oh, boy.
kiss
I don't think
people at
I'm
work and
ready to
shit.
open this can of worms, Heemed. I don't think I'm ready to open that can of worms.
People don't learn, bro.
I will say.
I mean,
Well,
do you
the-
really believe that? Him?
I think at a certain point, yeah, it's really tough for people to change at his age or Cuomo's age. I don't know.
I would. By the way, did you know that case about the missing girl? That everybody's talking about, the white woman or whatever.
Mhm. Gabby Petito.
Apparently, like, I know the boyfriend's missing or something, right? So He's actually one of the people who's looking for the boyfriend, and apparently he said he's like, I have an amazing lead, but I will not share it with authorities.
Oh,
Wait, her
that's right.
boyfriend?
I forgot.
Because he's a
No,
bounty
Dog the
hunter.
bounty hunter is tracking
Oh,
down
really?
the boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, he's tracking down the boyfriend right now. Yeah.
Something Laundry.
Story
I forget
on
his
screen.
name.
That's weird too. Did you guys see all the TikToks and stuff that people are posting? Like, if you zoom into the pixels in the forest, you can see that the like all this weird like internet vigilantism again.
Which I'm not against them. Like I'm not against people helping track someone out. Like, hey, is this it? Like I looked at some stuff here. Like I've seen that happen. Like in real time. My thing is when they like decide to go out and do it themselves. It's different than when you're just like digging stuff up on the internet, right?
What do you think, Supreme?
What do I think about what?
Like people who are like, you know, investigating this shit themselves online and like posting on TikTok, like
I think like if you're doing an investigation, there are reasons to go public with certain information. Like if you're looking to crowdsource thing, I mean, we've seen like the kinds of weird things cases people have cracked about, like signs that people have put up, like "He will not divide us," the Trump sign, where they were able to track it to the guy's house. Like paintings that were in different rooms around the country, people were able to use like the angle of the sun, and
I know that
correlate with the time.
that cats guy that was killing cats, he got discovered by online people.
Remember that like thing that Shia LaBeouf had like the flag and people tracked it down, took it down because he had a flag up that was like "He will not divide us," and they took it down. The flag. I remember that. I remember all the 4chans and the Discord groups about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a risk also of like when you're posting the knowledge that you have, you're basically signaling. In the case of Brian Laundrie, he's probably he's probably checking the news every fucking day to see what people know about him and see what's being reported about him, and that can certainly spoil an investigation and make it more difficult. So I don't know what Dog or these like, you know, public private investigators are posting online about their most recent findings, but certainly I think there's a concern that may spoil
no, Dog isn't posting anything. He
investigations.
said he wouldn't share it with authorities because he's a bounty hunter. He wants it himself, right?
That's his business. Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Back and forth as maybe a compliment. My pass expired for using it, but no one told me that. To say a racist name doesn't qualify to make you a racist.
If you use that word, use that word,
Using
use it in your
logic.
regular everyday life, it makes you a racist.
I have more black friends than Eminem.
That is the proximity argument. I have lots of black friends. So
By the way, I don't think that's number one. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, how many black friends could he actually have though? I wonder. Like,
why is he also invoking
More than
Eminem? as, like-
Eminem? Yeah, he keeps invoking Eminem, even though Eminem like specifically doesn't do
like
this.
he's the ambassador to black people of the white tribe or some shit.
He's the white tribe's ambassador to the black tribe.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a good choice, in my opinion. If I was electing an ambassador, I mean, it wouldn't be the wrong
Chet Hanks, bro. Chet Hanks.
Chet Hanks. That would be the other good option. Chet Hanks, yes.
No, Chet Hanks is too white. He needs Elizabeth Warren.
True.
if you use that word and you use it in your regular everyday life, it makes you a racist.
I have more black friends than Eminem.
That is the proximity argument. Like, I have lots of black friends, so that should make me okay with black people.
Chapman also denies his daughter's allegations that he used homophobic language.
Why would she say that?
She's been fed what to say. I have 3 people that are on my staff that are gay, men. My daughter's gay, baby Lisa. I don't understand why anybody would ever say that.
I hear what you're saying, but remember, proximity does not mean that you're not racist or homophobic.
Would I die for a gay man or a black man? I'd lay down my life.
Dog says all this drama started in March after he had
So dramatic too.
It's so weird. Why just gay and black?
It
men?
can't just be I'm not racist. It's I'd get shot for a black man or a gay man. You can't just be like I'm not racist.
He's like Hispanic guys, not so much.
I think, I mean, like, this is the kind of confusion that we see.
Yeah. All the groups he left out, like not the Mongolians.
Don't ask me about the Chinese, though. Yeah.
Exactly.
Fucking, I don't know. I mean, like, this is like a pretty common thread of thought. It seems like this is like a pretty shared mindset among like older white people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that like your language usage doesn't necessarily define your prejudices or something like that. And it is a difficult case to make, but like, on some level, like, I feel like you need to not be so resistant of just like, hey, I can just use the word and it doesn't mean I'm racist. Like when a representative of that community is saying like, listen, don't use that word because it hurts us, no matter what your intentions are. At some point, I think it's
wait. The official Black Tribe representative or just a random?
No, did you see Eminem there? I didn't see Eminem.
Yeah, I didn't see Eminem or the
True,
Black
yeah.
ambassador. Yeah.
But if it's true, I'm not saying that we have a good reason to believe that this is true. But if it's true that he's surrounded by like black people and gay people and he's using these words and they're like giving him their approval, like that can be a factor. You know what I mean? Like maybe he has bad influences. Well, if he's employing these people, the chances are probably better than.
Well, I mean, his
none,
daughter is
right?
obviously like he didn't just make up the fact his daughter's gay, and he probably has gay staff members. But the thing that interests me is the Black Tribe from prison, right? And I want to know like was there a Black Tribe in prison? Did they call themselves the Black Tribe? I think I think that's just something he's using because he's like leaning into the like that he's like. He's not a bad guy. Native American, right? I think he's leaning into that, so he's using the tribe language, the white tribe, the black tribe.
Is this recent? This thing? This
is like from a month ago. Yeah.
Say a word. All right.
The question isn't whether it happens or whether it's true. The question for me is whether he believes it's true. Now, like we can make up stories in our head about like events past. It may be the case that he served in prison with like 3 black people out of like 1,000 or something like that. He was in some special like mostly white people prison or something. Which is, you know, hold on, let me set that straight. Okay, this is the whole 1350 is a better representation of systemic racism that exists in this country. I just don't want that language to be misused. Okay, when I say special white people prison, okay, like the prevalence of black people in prisons is like it's a marker for systemic racism. I just want to make sure that my language doesn't get misused there. So, like even if it's the case, he may have served with like a couple black people in prison or what have you, and he may just have imagined like him having interactions that never happened. But now when he recalls like that imagination, he recalls it like a memory, and maybe he really
like
believes
a false
it.
memory.
Yeah, or just it's like vanity. You know what I mean? Like people fantasize about shit, and then it like it becomes memories.
Everybody
that you want
loves me.
So
yeah.
I understand, and I do, like, people are asking chat, like, Supreme is right, he's an embarrassing old man. I don't think he's, like, a Klan member. I just find his logic for why he could use the word very funny. And he is,
I think out of touch is the best.
His logic is bad.
He's like the kind of guy who wouldn't understand why, baby, it's cold outside. Like, he still wants to listen to it every Christmas. And everyone's like,
I don't know, was
man.
saying the N-word, like, okay, like, in the early 2000s for white people, would they not get shit for that then? Like, I'm pretty sure this, like, the standard of white people not saying the N-word has been, like, a consistent standard for a while now.
For sure, yeah. I don't know.
Sure. Listen, I'll be straightforward. I was on the internet in the 2000s, dude. I dropped hard R's every day. You know, like in my reasoning, I was part of a community.
Is that when you were putting your pants on 1 foot at a time in the morning?
No, I wasn't wearing pants at this time. If you couldn't tell.
Was Destiny really streaming then?
Dude, Destiny is like he's like a representative of like a larger community of like suburban white kids that were on the internet playing video games and like having fun with racism and like having fun with terrible language and stuff. And it was wrong. Like, obviously I've since come around on this, but like we had reasoning that we were supplying each other and shaking our hands and agreeing with that it wasn't like racist and it wasn't homophobic to be using these slurs because we knew that it was wrong and we were using it for satire or we were just trying to like, use edge humor or be shocking as possible. We like subscribe to these weird, ideas of like, what is it? Like, what's the term? Absolutism, linguistic absolutism, free speech absolutism, and how like the more we used it, the more we were taking power away from these words. People have weird ways of like justifying their shitty behavior and making it out to be just or not bad or whatever the fuck.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that he specifically, like if we're doing the idea that he's an out of touch old man, when he got into this scandal in the early 2000s, like 15 years ago, it was mid 2000s, not early 2000s. Like the social standard was already pretty set. That you don't use the N-word if you're white. And he was pushing against that social standard. So what's being brought up right now isn't like he did something before his time. It was the early 2000s. His show was like in its later seasons, of course. But he was pushing against the social standards at the time by doing that.
Kind of like that guy from Seinfeld too, right? Around the same time, probably.
Yeah, that's wild.
Michael Richards.
That's a wild thing to watch because he was provoked by a heckler, right? And his response to just go to that. I
think he was just wasted as fuck.
He was
angry, wasted.
No, I think there's like a certain magic that happens in comedy clubs where you feel like you're protected by a shield, where you can say things that are like reprehensible or terrible, and that, you know, like certainly shock humor can get laughter. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a comedy show. Like earlier, we made jokes about abortion and fucking all kinds of stuff. You know, when you're doing comedy, you can certainly get to the point where you're so comfortable, especially if you're somebody like who's a stage comedian where you live in that world every single day.
That's true.
And that's like the kind of stuff that comedians find funny. And his explanation was terrible too. You saw it in his face the next day where he's like, people are saying I'm a racist. That's what's the most insane thing about this. You know what I mean? Like
that's the thing.
Not getting it at all.
he literally said 50 years ago we'd have had you upside down with a fork up your ass. Like what else can you interpret from that? But like his testimony the next day, like it really looks like he believes that he's, you know, hasn't said anything racist or
Was
like
he
demonstrated.
Drunk? Do we know that he was drunk?
Wait, I think I should check now. I could have swore I remember that was his.
And the thing that I guess for me, the thing that sucks, this is like a little unrelated, but I'm trying to like go back and like watch more Norm Macdonald content since he just passed away, and it's so difficult to find it because he was a comedy club guy more than a stand-up special guy, you know. And
he's a comedian.
So all the old things I'm finding is like of like cell phone footage of like hour and 40 minutes of his stuff, and it's a gem, and I'm happy that it's crazy because I wonder if these people, like when they recorded this, like thought about like the moment when he would pass and like all the jokes that would never see the light of day again because he was just said once on the comedy circuit. And I'm really happy that all these gems exist. Anyway.
It's one of those things where it's like, that was the Michael Richards things was like a really good example of the prevalence of camera phones. That was like some of the first viral camera phone footage of somebody using racist language in a casual way. And it was in a comedy club, and it had probably happened similar to that for decades, you know what I mean? But we just didn't have cell phone cameras. And so this was a good example of like calling out like, holy shit, this is a thing that happens in America, and we need to like take a stand against it, you know? But
Okay, let's just finish the story.
Over a potential new TV show with Unleashed TV. In a statement today, the company said, quote, Mr. Chapman's own actions led to the cancellation of his new show. Bonnie is still with the production company and since then has been estranged.
Bonnie is being brainwashed.
Bonnie told ET Today in an exclusive statement, as far as the idea that I'm being brainwashed, this is the dumbest thing my father has ever said.
We all have arguments.
Well, maybe not the dumbest thing he said. I don't know. But I will say, what about that? The idea that his kids are just reporting on them because they're brainwashed or being told to by people. Like, I feel like that's
you don't know what their financial. It could be that he like took them off the will, and now they have an incentive to make him look bad. I don't know what the family dynamic. You ever seen Succession? It's fucking this. This is in a nutshell, like family drama when it comes to assets.
Is Succession that thing about the Saudi royal family?
No.
Okay.
It's like a media company, and like this dad basically is getting old, and he's trying to figure out like how he's gonna divvy up the company, and all the kids are like doing shady shit behind the scenes to try to make sure they get their like fair share, you know.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
It's kind of similar to this.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like at this point he's just it's not easy. I think there's some logic to what you said earlier, Dr. DrHeemedOut, about like people being certainly more difficult to change the more they get old and set in their ways. And this is his way of sort of like protecting his ego and like rejecting criticisms of his character or something like that he feels have crossed the line and gone too far. And we don't know how long maybe his daughter tried being diplomatic with him and like tried to help him see reason. You know, it may be the case that her going to the press about it was like a, you know, like a final straw, or it may be the case that she jumped the gun and now Dog feels betrayed and now he just doesn't want to hear anything she has to say, you know, like
in general, it sucks when this shit gets played out in public like this, but
it's a really great conversation starter for the idea that all of us probably have a dog the bounty hunter in our family, you know, like especially people of a lighter persuasion like Dylan and I. We probably have a lot of dog the bounty hunters in our family, and if
okay, so moving the bar a little bit, we have one to a lot. They're just everywhere. We're walking to the Burns household. They're just dropping N-bombs all the time. Yeah, no, I would not like that to be the representation of my family.
I wouldn't be welcome to Thanksgiving at either of your extended family's places.
And I mean, I just reported to you guys fucking, you know, like 10, 15 years ago, I was a dog the bounty hunter in my family on the internet, playing Counter-Strike and dogging it up. And you know, arguing with people that it wasn't wrong. But, you know, like eventually people got through to me. It's rough. Like, I am more curious to know how, like, the history of his interactions with his daughter and how many people have tried approaching him and like setting him straight on these issues, and how many, like, maybe how many bad influence he has around him. The goal should be to be a good influence, to persuade people to better behavior, and like to just do what you can. You catch more flies with honey than vinegar,
Is that
right?
why you're here today?
What's that?
To persuade us to have better behaviors.
I'm here because I fucking
By the way, one last thing.
Go ahead.
If you want to watch Dr. Bounty Hunter, basically all the episodes on YouTube. You can just go binge watch it. It's super.
I'm not gonna watch that guy. He's a racist.
It's still interesting. I find the show very interesting. It's funny to me. I don't know. It's weird just watching him fumble around.
Platforming racist, Dylan? Nothing new for you, I guess.
Yes, I believe my platform is smaller than the reality TV show star. I wonder, dude, Dog the Bounty Hunter, if he started a Twitch channel, oh my god.
He kept abandoned one day. He thinks he has the N-word pass, bro.
No, he says it was revoked, remember?
Oh, he didn't
renew it.
Pay his dues.
It expired.
He was out of the group DM where they was like, yeah, you need to pay your dues, yeah.